Boom! Shakalaka! Ha ha ha! The Skittle Shitters just shit the bed. The home of the Common Joe and the Common Sally in the know, even more so than all those media talking heads. See? Tried to tell y'all, man. Tried to tell you USC fans all year long that Lincoln was going to blow it at some point, especially when it comes to not having a defense. They can bail you out when your offense is not playing as well, like they were tonight. But no, y'all thought we was trolling you. Y'all thought the Oklahoma fans were trolling you, other fan bases were trolling you. Everybody was envious of you and Lincoln Riley, right? O-T-Bo, the bitch out west. Then y'all made it personal, man. Y'all attacked me on my channel, attacked me on my friend's channel, even called my pregnant daughter to let her know that I was a bitch just because I let y'all know the history of Linky Boy. Linky Boy gets on a big stage, and more times than not, he does one or two things. He either blows a big lead or gets his ass blowed out. In this case, he had both done to him by Utah. Let's talk about it. Woo! What a Pac-12 championship game last night. Wow. Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. That game made me feel pretty good inside. It made me feel all Nostradamus-like because we've been telling them this shit the whole year that it was coming. And it came in the form of Utah twice, who's become probably one of my top 5 teams, as I said before. But before we get to all that, I'd like to ask you guys to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Also, this is the OCF. That's the Outlaw of College Football. That's me, JPC. I can also be found on Twitter at OCF Productions. All right, now getting right into it here. Finally it come to fruition. All that shit I've been telling y'all all year long to the USC Skittle shooters out there. It got personal between us. And I probably would let this shit go, like I said, a long time ago if it hadn't got personal. But y'all made it personal. So now I'm going to make it my quest to make sure that every time y'all screw up, I'm going to grill that ass. So let's get right into it here. Old Lincoln Riley done blew. He done twice. As I was saying in the lead up, man, usually he either gets blowed out or he blows a big lead. But he done both in this game. He got blowed out and blew a big lead. They was up 17-3. And Utah outscored them 44-7 the rest of the game, man. And it's like my friend Jonathan Lewis has said numerous times. You could see the difference in the size of the lines and the fact that Utah was just much more physical than USC. And they're going to have to get that shit corrected or they're never going to win a national championship. And just like the defense, man. Been preaching that all year long. I've been like, hey, there's going to be a game where Caleb Williams is going to be really off and the other team's offense is not going to be off. And y'all probably not just going to lose. Y'all going to lose by a lot. And that's exactly what happened today. They got lucky against Oregon State and that their offense couldn't put any points up. Or they probably would have lost that game by double digits. Also, the sportsmanship and the way that Lincoln is allowing his players to just carry on is quite disturbing to me. Matter of fact, if I'm the USC fans out there, I'd probably think about maybe taking Lincoln aside and saying, hey, man, why are you letting your players do this shit, man? All it's doing is motivating the opponent. Case in point, I'm going to throw up some graphs here. Have some fun with this. Oh, Caleb Williams, he likes to paint his fingernails for whatever reason, man. Being out in California and whatnot, he fits right in out there probably with a bunch of weirdos they got going on out there. He painted his fingernails. You'll have to enlarge the picture probably to see it, but on his fingernails it says F Utah. Now, why would you allow your player to do that? You think Nick Saban would let his players paint F his opponent on their fingernails going into the game? Maybe after the game, after you won and proven that it's F Utah, when in all actuality, it looked like Utah done the effing. And it doubled up on y'all's ass, beat y'all twice. And also at the end of the game, from what I'm understanding and hearing from a lot of people out there, they refused, the USC players, to shake the hands of the Utah players. So, sometimes karma's late to the party. But man, this feels like karma decided, to do what was right and put USC in their place and their little bandwagon fans. So USC went from winning the Pac-12 to being in the playoffs and playing for the national title to now absolutely having nothing. Zero, squat, shit. They don't have anything now. They don't have a Pac-12 title, have no shot at the playoffs, although them announcers, them West Coast announcers, Brock Heward and all them, were trying to talk little scenarios about how USC can still get in the playoff, which is a bunch of horse shit. That's just them being West Coast biased, and then they want to talk about we're biased, right? So, look at my notes here. Oh, and they were making up, the announcers complaining about USC having to play in a conference title game. Well, gee, Brock, there's a lot of teams that have to play in a conference title game. You don't see them complain about it. But to sit there and say that USC deserves to be in because they were forced to play in a conference championship game, man, that's a little lame. USC, at this point, they're probably behind at least 3 teams. Ohio State, Alabama, and even Tennessee, in my opinion, would deserve to be in the playoffs at this point over Tennessee, over USC, who they're not even going to go to the Rose Bowl now. Utah's going to go to the Rose Bowl. They won the Pac-12 title. So not only are they not going to get to play in the playoffs, they're not going to get to play in the Rose Bowl. Hell, they might end up back in Las Vegas again. It's amazing how you can go from being on top of the world to having absolutely nothing within a matter of an hour of a football game. And that's exactly what happened to USC. And man, I ain't gonna lie, it feels so good to see the rug ripped out from under these hypocritical bandwagon fans. The most hypocritical bandwagon fans I've ever seen, to be quite honest with you. And they were talking that smack all day long. That was on Jonathan Lewis's show, man. They were talking about how, because I said if they do get in the playoffs, they'll probably get beat by Georgia, blown out by Georgia. And they're like, no, well, only will we not get blown out. We'll beat Georgia. USC can beat anybody in this nation. Oh, really? And then it's telling me, fight on. Well, y'all fought on, all right. Y'all fought on to getting your ass whooped twice by the Utes. And you're going to talk about beating Georgia? Really? Utah, the team that beat you twice, lost to Florida, who's 6-6 in the SEC, who Georgia handed them their ass. I think Utah probably did y'all a favor, to be honest with you. If you played Georgia, it would have probably been worse than what that score was. That score might be a little misleading because Utah, sort of piled it on in the fourth quarter. But Georgia would have piled it on the whole game. You think Caleb Williams got beat up in that game? And that's another thing they were using as an excuse. Oh, Caleb Williams was hobbled. That's the only reason that Utah beat him. I don't want to hear that crap, man. Bryce Young was hobbled. Dylan Gabriel was out for 3 games for Oklahoma. Quinn Ewers was out for 3 or 4 games against Texas. Michigan's running back, their star running back, was out for the Ohio State game and is now out for the season. You don't see them making any excuses. So stop with the excuses, man. Because I know what y'all going to do now. Because y'all already said it before. that when USC is not in contention for championships, y'all not going to watch. Y'all ain't going to watch USC lose. Because we got so many other things to do out there. Y'all ain't got nothing to do in Alabama or Oklahoma. Well, you do realize that most of the alumni do not live in the hometowns of these universities. Most alumni move out of Tuscaloosa and they move out of Norman. And they move to big cities like LA, New York, Miami, Chicago, because they get jobs there. And then they fly in to watch their team play because guess what they have? Loyalty. Something y'all don't have. Y'all have no loyalty, man. Y'all a bunch of bandwagons out there. That whole state, really, is a bunch of bandwagoneers. But there's probably some good things y'all can do, man. I could probably think of some things. I don't know, maybe you could watch a triathlon, a transgender triathlon through the streets of Watts or something like that. If you can maybe dodge the human feces that's everywhere, because, you know, you allow people to shit in the streets and have a happy go, lucky time, taking a dump in the streets and being homeless by choice. See, what else could you do? Now, maybe Rosie O'Donnell would probably have some kind of buffet or something with bonbons and octopus and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe John McCougar Mellencamp y'all could take classes on how to disrespect the flag, because, you know, y'all spit on American values left and right out there. So that might be something good for y'all, because, you know, John Cougar, he likes to sit down during the national anthem, don't put his hand over his heart. You know, he has no respect whatsoever for the veterans that fought and defended that flag. But you guys and gals tell me what y'all think about all this. Y'all think that Lincoln Riley, it's just because it's his first year, maybe he's in a little transition period? I don't think so. Because, you know, these USC fans that come in here and tell you also, hey, I said we was going to lose 2 or 3 games. But yet, here lately in the last couple of weeks, y'all talking about how y'all deserve to be a playoff team. And then y'all going to say, oh, y'all are okay with losing 2 or 3 games. We know that's a bunch of shit. I'd like to know, seriously, when was the last time y'all sold out the Coliseum? Y'all couldn't even sell the Coliseum out for Notre Dame. So, here's a word of advice for the skittle shitters out there. From now on, don't automatically assume that people are trolling you, because sometimes they're trying to tell you something. And now you're finding out exactly what we've been talking about this whole time. This guy is a fraud. And y'all a fraud as a fan base. And y'all had your little skirts pulled down. And now it's going to continue on and on and on and on. I'm going to be interested to see where USC ends up in the bowl game. If Alabama don't make a bowl game, maybe y'all get to play my team. But that's all I got to say about that. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. If you don't mind, there's a little heart option down here. Hit that. Throw a few dollars in the coffers. And, as always, KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.